warm welcome to all the loving beings out there. Today, we are listening to the third episode of a very special podcast, Students of the World. In this podcast, we take the initiative to communicate with students around the world and try to understand how they're evolving and managing in these unique times. This podcast series is for the students, by the students, and of the students. Having said that, let's roll over to a very, very special guest, student of the world, Annisa, straight away coming from Jakarta, Indonesia. Welcome, Annisa. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking out time and being part of the show. And I would love to talk more about Annisa. She is a management student at UPN Veteran Jakarta, Indonesia. And she loves cooking and she loves to do photography. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's right. I like cooking since there was a pandemic, and at the time I was hungry and want to order some food, but incidentally, at the time I was bored and had to save my money, and I thought I had better learn to cook. And yeah, since that day I like to cook, and I was trying new recipes for cook.
That's great. That's awesome. I mean, cooking is not easy, but learn it. It's like your peace time in the kitchen. So it's more like meditation. That's what I believe. So welcome Annisa, who is the student of the world in the third episode. And we are going to ask her those same 4 questions which we asked all the students around the world. And so we're going to hit with the first question. So Annisa, I'm going to ask you, what were the biggest challenges for you in the year 2020 as a student, and how did you overcome those?
Okay, the biggest challenges in 2020 when there was a pandemic and it requires us to study at home. Maybe at first I was happy because I was learning from home, but over time I felt bored and tired. Bored because I'm not used to studying online and it's not effective for me. And the enthusiasm for learning has decreased because I'm bored with the vibe of the online class. Moreover, we cannot leave the house, right? And I cannot meet my friends, and I was worried about my grades. Sometimes I don't focus on studying because I get distracted by noise at home. And to be honest, I'm the type of person who, if studying should be in a quiet place, and it turns out that the lecturer give more assignments. Actually, this online class is flexible, right? But it also makes some lecturers change their class hours suddenly, and online class makes us often stare at the screen of our handphone or laptop, which makes our eyes tired and dizzy. Even though there is actually a positive side to online classes, for example, making activities as easier, being able to study anywhere and anytime. We can also meet our families more often at home. Yeah, I overcome those things by having friends who support and remind each other. I'm very grateful to be surrounded by supportive friends because it makes me more enthusiastic. Besides that, I also make reminders for class schedule and assignment to be more organized. Have enough sleep is important so that when I wake up, I have a lot of energy for online class. And I also do me time and give myself reward.
Wow, Aisha. I mean, I think the thing which you talked about, I think, which is also an issue with me, is like the pain in the eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think it happens with everyone, whether it's teachers, employees, or students. You're so much, already we had so much of screen time, remember scrolling our phones when our parents used to say, don't do that. You're going to cause problem to your eyes. Now it's like we have to be on the screen. Like we have to look at the screen all the time.
Yes, right.
So now, like, I remember what my mom used to say, okay, Yeah, now my eyes hurt, and I get it, Mom, what you were trying to say. So, can you
I feel it.
share something which you did to ease your eyes? Did something like when you used to have a lot of pain while like studying a lot on the screen? Did you did you try soothing your eyes or like taking a nap or something like that? Would you like to share?
Mm, I'm maybe I sleep is yeah, sleep to the rescue for me.
Good. I think it is for 99.99% students rescue is sleeping.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. And I really like, Annisa, that how humble and uh, you are to have the gratitude of having the feeling of whatever you have and being thankful, because I think that is the panacea, or you can see the solution to most of us stress and anxiety which we go through. So in most of the times we are not able to handle the stress, but then if if we get an idea that this is the outer circle which is just not in our hand, just like in the case of pandemic or something like which is out of our control. And in that sense, if we are able to understand that, okay, I should not focus myself what I don't have, but focus on what I have, then things become easier, and then you can work in a better way. So I agree with you, Annisa. So good job. Very good job.
Thank
And
you.
I think this is a good learning for students around the world to be humble, to have a gratitude to whatever you have, your family, your friends, or even if you're studying. That's a big thing. There are
Yeah.
many kids and children who are not able to do that. So we are the lucky ones. So we should be thankful to God. Thank you, Anissa, for reminding me that
Okay.
too. So let's roll over to our next question. So,
Oh,
Anissa, I'd like to ask you, did 2020 help you realize the relevance of our mental and physical well being? If so, kindly share a story with us.
yes, of course. In 2020, I learned many things from responsibility, I accepting failure, learning to understand myself and everything about life. Maybe I will tell you a little about my failure in 2020, which I think affects my mental and physical. Yes. When I was senior high school, my friends thought that I was an attending student because I always got first place in school as the best student, because at the time I always put my academic values first and was not interested in organizations. I felt uncomfortable every time I tried to join in organizations. Uh, but when I entered college, my lecturer and counselor taught that organization is very important and will add to our experience. Besides that, I also felt insecure when I saw my friend CV with a lot of experience, whereas I had no experience in school. So it become one of my motivation for joining the organizations. And another reason is because in 2020 we spend more time at home. So I want to fill my time with activities from campus. At first, I tried to join an organization without any selection. It was a photography organization because at the time, my hobby was in photography and it became my first organization. But after that, I had big ambitions to take part in other activities. I tried selection lists for the committee and or organizations. The first time I registered to become a committer in the new student admissions event, I was very excited and had prepared everything. But when the announcement was made, I was rejected. And then the second time I registered another organization, and I was rejected again. But my struggle doesn't stop there. I tried to register another organization for the third time. I was happy because at the time I could get to interview, but uh, but when the announcement again and again, and it turned out that I failed. Uh, yeah, the incident affect me mentally and physically because I felt tired. I felt I had prepared well, but why I was fail? I wonder what's wrong with me. Am I not deserve to that opportunity? I have thoughts about my bad future. Because at the time there was no organization that accept me. Of course, I cried. I always cried at night thinking about the failures I faced. But after that, I keep trying. I have thoughts like, what if I let an even? After that, I look for information about some organization and I found TEDx, event PJ, which is TEDx on my campus. My friend asked me to help and manage TEDx. My friends as the organizer, and then me as the co-organizer. Uh, uh, Sad and happy at the same time because I didn't think I could lead and manage a big event, even though I had failed many times before. I'm grateful for my failures, which have brought me stronger and more advanced. Uh, if there were no failures, I might not have become a co-organizer at TEDx. TEDx was an exciting experience, and I certainly won't forget it. TEDx opens the opportunities for me to participate in other activities or organizations. So it was very memorable experience in 2020. The condition that required studying online and the failures I faced. I still remember how sad I was when I felt in many times. Yeah, the incident really affect my mental and physical at that time.
Yeah, Anisa, like, thank you for sharing that, because I think what you shared right now is the story of so many students around the world, but they don't want to talk about it or they don't want to acknowledge it. So thank you for that. And I think even after so many turmoils and failures, you came out as a rock star.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
doing TEDx and like in 2020 or 2021, when we are going through a pandemic, it's not easy. You're not meeting your team, but you're doing those virtual meetings. So the kind of learning experience you had, that was of another level. And definitely you have come out as a different and a stronger person. And that can be seen the way you're talking to me. So that's great. So I think the students of the world should take one learning from Anisa, and that is never, never give up. Even if you are going through hundreds of rejections in your life, it's all right, because there'll be time when you will be accepted. And once you will, that'll be the time when you deserve that thing. So learning from failure is the most difficult thing, which Anisa did beautifully. And that's what we should learn from her. So thank you, Anisa, for sharing that.
you're welcome.
So, Arisa, my next question to you is, what is your hope from the future as a student?
Okay, my hopes are I want to graduate with satisfactory grades, success. The knowledge that I learned can be useful and applied in society. And besides that, hopefully everyone has access to education because education is the key of developing quality human research. Hopefully, my goals can be achieved. Students can make small or big changes, and the most important thing is that hopefully we can return to education effectively and optimally. Because as we know, there are still many students who have difficulty in studying online. That's it.
Yes, I totally agree. To understand the relevance of education and how to implement that. So I think you, Anisa, you're in such a right path. You have that mindset to do some wonderful things in the future. I can see that, Anisa. So I'm kind of proud of
Thank,
you, even if you're not my student.
thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. And as a woman, I am double proud of you. Good
Thank
job.
you so much.
So let's go to our last question, which is, what is your message to the students around the world?
Okay. As I told before, I don't be afraid to fail because we don't know God's beautiful plan. The failures you face today might be a sense of gratitude in the future. And second, we must be grateful because we as students are still given the opportunity to take education. Use that opportunity well, don't ever give up. The time and thoughts we spend on learning will always be useful for the future. Learning is not always related to lecture or school materials, I think, but we must seek new experience, for example, from organizations so that we can upgrade skills for the future, and then keep yourself motivated so you can develop yourself. Look for friends who are supportive and can compete in a healthy manner. This is very influential for us to go forward. I feel it, and friends like that will make me motivated and want to keep growing. And last but not least, never stop learning because life never stop teaching.
Awesome. um, Annisa, you are such an amazing, amazing guest because you have given another angle to this show, that how relevant it is to have the mental and physical well-being of a student through your mindset. And having said that, um, I was specifically mentioned when you were talking about that you were not in a very happy mode. There was a time in 2020 and you felt like crying. And most of people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about if they are sad. So as a researcher on emotions, I always say to people, like, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay if you are feeling sad and depressed. And once you realize that, definitely you can overcome all the things and you can come as a rock star, just like Annisa. So,
Yeah.
yes. And the point that she told students of the world should listen to this, she said that we need to have a good company. We should have friends who have good motivations and have good
Yeah.
motives in their lives. So it is true, and we are average of 5 people we meet every day. So choose your company wisely. And I think Annisa has got this amazing way to look at the world. Even if she is going through some highs and lows, I think she knows how to grab the opportunity and to work hard for it. And that's what is the learning point of this particular episode, to have a right mindset. And the right mindset doesn't come down like, I am just happy, but you have to understand yourself and then work over it, work on your failures, and be in a very positive environment. At least try to be in the positive environment if you're not in that kind of environment. And your friends, your company, all this matters a lot, because subconsciously they try to manifest things in you which you don't even realize. So, Annisa, sincerely, thank you so much for all these pointers, because this is going to be something of use to students. And I'm pretty sure, Annisa, some student around the world, maybe on the opposite side of the globe, will be listening to you and will be implementing your points and will be saving him or her from the demons of all these negative emotions. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Same here, Annisa. We had the opportunity to have the student of the world from Jakarta, Indonesia, Annisa, on our third episode. And so please subscribe and like what Annisa said and our channel, Students of the World. Thank you so much.